My survival world sucks because every time I want to go build a project, I find myself doing this, or this, or this for hours. So in this video, I'm going to build what I think are the 5 most crucial farms, which will allow my resource collection to go from taking hours to taking minutes, and allow me to build what I have imagined since I started this world. So I wanted to get started on making farms, but the first farm I wanted to make is a shulker farm, because then we can store all the other stuff we get in this video. But the problem is, to make a shulker farm, we need shulkers, and shulkers are only found in the end. Which means, to start this episode, we need to beat the game. So the first steps for that are going to be going to a fortress to get blaze rods, and then I think we're going to go back to the warped forest from last episode to get pearls. So yeah, let's get started on that. So I think the first thing, I'm kind of ready to go already, off to the nether. And if we go into the nether, last episode, basically as soon as we spawn, we can see a fortress, which will be good. So yeah, I'm gonna run there, and I will see you when we get there. Alright, we've made it up to the fortress. Our skeleton here. I'm gonna try to find the blaze spawner. That doesn't look like it has it. Maybe this way? Oh, and there's the spawner. Yeah, we've killed about 4. Oh wow, this is a really good fortress. There's a double blaze spawner right here. Oh, that's sweet. We can make a great farm out of this. And even saying that, we've been here for about 2 minutes and we've already got all the rods we need, so... Wait for one more cycle, and then it looks like there's an interior section over there, and I'd like to grab some nether wart while I'm here. Oh, and we got nether wart. Perfect. That is everything that we came here for. Although, I might try to get out of this side of the fortress and go over to this warped forest for some pearls. Because I know we're going to need those as well. So let's go Enderman hunting for a little while. See if we can get all the pearls we need. There's another 4. See if there's some more endermen on the way back. If not, then we'll head back. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to gather the materials for this shulker farm. Maybe I'll have a little time lapse. I don't know, it depends how long it takes. But yeah, I will see you shortly. At this point, I collected the mats for the shulker farm, which mainly consisted of scaffolding and cobble slabs, 2 blocks I already had in storage. And I originally intended to go to the end with all the materials, but this plan fell through because this thing required like 2 double chests of materials, or maybe only a double chest and a half of materials, but it was still way more than my inventory could fit. So I decided to set off for the stronghold, knowing that once I found an end city, I can come back with shulkers and bring that stuff to the end. So yeah, let's catch back up with me on the way to the stronghold. Alright, let's do it. Let's enter the end, kill the dragon, beat the game. with the crazy MLG, which are actually really easy to do. Now we play a waiting game. We mine blocks for bridging while we wait for the dragon to perch. Here he is. I came all this way just to kill you. Okay, can you just like not jump on the dragon anymore? Let's go. Easy dub. After beating the dragon, I continued to the outer end, finding a city with relative ease and collecting my first elytra, as well as some shulkers to transport mats. This feels like a good time to introduce a rule I have for myself in this world. While I've collected an elytra, I only intend to use it in the nether and end, not in the overworld. I feel like people overuse elytras a lot, leading to builds feeling disconnected or only looking good from afar, rather than when you're actually in the build. So instead, I'm going to try my best to use horses, boats, and just running around in the overworld so that my builds feel more connected and immersive. Following that, I headed back to the base and grabbed the mats for the Shulker farm, then returning to build it. The design I'm using produces 1,280 shulker shells per hour and is designed by Bale XY and flasheart. Sorry if I butchered those names. Like all the other farms in this video, I'll have links in the description to the technical Minecraft catalog Discord, as that's where I found all the farms, as well as many more that I didn't have time to make. I highly recommend you guys checking it out if you need farms for staff. Finally, with the completion of the Shulker farm, my first major goal for this episode is complete, and my first decent, fully automatic farm is built. I'm back in the overworld, and I have designed a cobblestone farm and a nice exterior for that cobblestone farm. It's going to go somewhere over here. It's kind of not going to make a lot of sense how I built it to start, but I've also designed like a whole load of terrain around here. But I think it's more important to get the farms built first, because they're kind of needed to make the terrain. So yeah, now it's time for a quick material gathering montage and then some building. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm back a little earlier than planned. I've gathered like the first 2 materials on the list, but the third material we need for this farm is a stack and 42 hoppers. Now, that's like 8 or 10 stacks of iron, and I don't have an iron farm, so I think we're gonna build a really quick early game iron farm. It's a design by Ianxofour. It's like the simplest thing ever. So we're gonna build that first before I build the cobble farm, because it's gonna be convenient to have extra iron for other farms later too. This was by far the easiest farm of this video, since it's designed to be built within the first Minecraft day, using minimal tools and resources, while I have fully maxed tools and loads of stuff already. Now that we're done the iron farm, we can get back to material gathering for the cobble farm, which shouldn't take too long with the most expensive resource, hoppers, already crossed off the list. The last 2 major items I needed for the cobblestone farm were stone, which I mined from the growing pit below my house, and redstone, which I collected partially from nearby caves and partially from my cleric villagers. Other than that, all the resources needed for the farm seemed to be simple to get. As predicted, getting the rest of the mats for the cobblestone farm was quite easy, allowing me to progress to clearing a space underground, since the exterior design only partially covers the farm, since with the storage it's actually quite large, and building the farm itself. The design I'm using was created by Dextreme and produces 231,000 cobblestone per hour, which should be more than enough for me, as I'm only one person and this isn't a server with other people who might need it. The only challenging part of this build was adding the bits, as every layer required me to place 6 water buckets and 6 lava buckets, which were a pain to hold onto as they don't stack, and the Minecraft inventory is actually quite limited. After about 30 minutes of building, I completed and tested this farm, meaning that we're now done 3 of the 5 farms that I intend to create today. Last 2 farms that I want to build today are a bone meal farm and a tree farm, both of which should be relatively easy now that I have effectively unlimited cobblestone, iron, and shulkers. The only resource I'm missing for the bone meal farm is jack-o'-lanterns, and for the tree farm, I'm only missing some saplings to run it, so this truly should be the easiest part of the video. Let's get started with the bone meal farm, then we can leave it running until the tree farm is built. The most painful part of making the bone meal farm was digging out a space for it, as it sits entirely underground due to its size. Close to the start, I decided to get a beacon in an effort to increase my mining speed, which ended up being very useful, as the total mined area was around 10,000 blocks. The bone meal farm I chose to make is a 2x2x2 layout of the Chromoss farm, designed by MaidofMoss and producing around 16,000 bone meal per hour, or 2,000 bone meal per module I made. For the storage of this farm, I used a simple bone block crafter, then a shulker loader, allowing me to store up to 15,552 bone meal per shulker, rather than the 1728 you get when it's not compressed. Now, let's get started on the tree farm, which I already have all the mats required for in storage. So, as you can probably tell from the time-lapse you just saw, I've finished the tree farm, meaning that we have completed our goal for this episode. All 5 farms are complete. You might notice I ran it a little bit for some azalea wood just so I could expand the storage. And it made it pretty quick. This was like not even 5 minutes of running and it got this many logs, so yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It wasn't really the same kind of style of episode as I did last time, but it was still like basically the same amount of work, honestly. But yeah, this should allow me to build some bigger stuff in the future. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.